I'm sorry to use this word, Montek Singh Ahluwalia ji. This is all fancy economics for the common man. I'm talking about the viewpoint of the common man. For him, कि हम बलि का बकरा, वो कुर्बानी became a big issue कि बलि बकरे की कुर्बानी होनी चाहिए नहीं होनी चाहिए. हम कुर्बानी के बकरे बन गए हैं क्या? Are we paying the EMIs, and how long are we going to pay the EMI of the petrol and diesel costs constantly increasing? You're defending it. It has to increase. Is what you've said recently.
I think, let's be clear. If you're importing something, personally, I think whoever's importing whatever they're importing should actually pay the price, except those who are very, very poor and need some subsidy. I don't think petroleum by itself is a product which deserves a subsidy, whereas, let's say, essential medicines are. So I make a distinction. Secondly, if a very poor person is going to be hit by the rise in petroleum prices, it's better to increase the general transfer to poorer people, increase the kind of schemes that will give them more income, rather than keep the petrol price for everybody, including those who drive Mercedes.
But that is exactly what you were doing. You were advising the government. I remember the rates of crude were about $120 to a barrel, and the amount of money I was paying for petrol was about 71 rupees, if I remember correctly, in 2013, 2014, 58 rupees to a diesel. Today the prices have not crossed 100. They were about $68 to a barrel average in the initial part of this year. And I'm paying more than 100
let me
rupees.
say, petrol prices have been a kind of masterly act of non-transparency in our policy.
And we claim that the market is determining the rates. Is that a fact? I want from the horse's mouth.
No, definitely not. Let me give you my view. In 2002, under the Vajpayee government, they made a declaration that the petrol prices are now, the administered price system is dismantled. Okay, we freed petrol, and the government quite rightly took a lot of credit for it. I think they should have done that. They didn't. Basically, I mean, most of the stuff is controlled by marketing companies which are owned by the government. So when you say that the marketing companies determine it, they're looking for a nod from the government. So this is what's happening today.
77,000 crores in the last quarter of last financial year. 77,000 crores. And now the petroleum minister is telling us, oh, they're bleeding 1,000 crores every day. What about the 77,000 crores they earn?
No, it is probably true, by the way, that during the period when oil prices were low, these companies made a lot of, if you like, supernormal profits, okay? Yeah. And I mean, there was some increase in taxation.
And the common man doesn't get any benefit. And when the rates rise, and today the petrol that I'm consuming, I'm putting in my car, the gas, has 20% ethanol, which is 60 to 65 rupees to a liter. You are not passing on that benefit as well. You tom-tom it as one of the major accomplishments of the government. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're blaming me for...
No, I'm just asking you as an economist.
Yeah, as an economist, let me say, we need much greater transparency in how the petroleum prices for the common man are determined, how they reflect what is happening globally, and what is the price that we are paying to our own public sector refineries. We don't have that transparency. We should have it, and furthermore, the consumer should be made to recognize that since we are more than 80% dependent on imports of petroleum products, this is a product whose price will rise and fall. But to convince the person that that's what we're doing, we should let the market show the rise and fall. By kind of freezing the market when prices were falling and sucking in the benefit both into the government and the corporation, we prevented people from recognizing that that's the kind of market they should face. So they're now a bit upset. Now, to be fair, the government has taken a bit of a hit by reducing excise duties.
But they earned about 43 lakh crores. That is what the opposition is
absolutely,
claiming.
But what I mean,
times they increased the excise duty.
They spent all that 43. That money was spent.
I agree with that.
See, if you want them, it's quite legitimate to argue that because you did all this, reduce the taxes even further. But then what you're really saying is that, and cut some expenditures. So I think when those choices are placed before you, it's not very clear. What are the expenditures would they cut? food subsidy, fertilizer subsidy, payments on salaries, what? So I think if you look at this is the nature of the crisis. The absolute shock is large and it affects different parts of the economy. How you handle it is a complex matter. And you need to explain that. And probably the public also needs to understand that this is the complexity and this is how we have to go forward.
No,